Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk about just getting to really know who you are as a person based on not only experience but based on sitting with yourself. Because I've seen that this is a very critical part of growth. And if you are looking at yourself and you're judging yourself harshly every single day because of maybe your environment or your job or the people that you're around, then you're going to be this version of yourself that you don't really recognize and that maybe you don't even want to be around yourself. And I'm saying all this because it's so easy to consistently fall back into that mindset and become that version that you don't even know. And essentially your shadow self. So if you are this person and you want more out of life, then you're not going to necessarily correlate to that vibration of what you're wanting. So say like, obviously everybody wants to just vacation on a really nice island and feel famous every day and just feel great and feel like they're doing exactly everything right. And not that that's just too much to ask for and it's out of commission, but the problem is that most people don't align with that mindset and most people don't align with that frequency, and so therefore they become this frequency that is in correlation to the opposite of what they want to experience. So when you're unhappy and you really sit with that unhappiness and you're always complaining and you're just trying to tell this higher power like, I can't do this and I don't want this and I'm miserable and I'm all of these things, then you're going to instantaneously attract that energy of a lifestyle. You're going to consistently attract that kind of misery and pain and hurt, and then you're going to wonder why you are always experiencing this negative feeling. And while that is not the only reason that people can experience negativity, it definitely instantaneously correlates to that. And I think it's really important to step back with yourself and kind of just look at who you are, how you feel, why you feel that way. Because if you're not willing to sit with how you feel for yourself, then it's just unrealistic to expect anybody to want to sit with you and experience you on their own end. So I am going to pull a couple tarots and we're going to go from there and just see kind of what's up. So I'm still kind of learning to shuffle them. Okay, here's a one. So this, let me see. Okay, so I like to flip them to make sure that it's supposed to be upside down. Just kind of like throw them up in the air. Yeah, okay, so unfortunately, yeah, it's supposed to be upside down. And basically what this means is, to me, this means that you are maybe holding yourself back. And not only holding yourself back, but maybe underestimating who you are as a person. And personally, I feel like, well, I'm still learning tarot, you just instantly get a certain energy from every card and you go from there. And for me, Upward strength means, you're really holding that within you, and you have that perspective of who you are, who you want to be, and you know yourself. But I feel like with this, it is essentially the opposite of that. And I think while you may know yourself, I also believe that it means there's parts of you may not really recognize, and there's parts of you that you may not be in full sync with. Because I listen to readings myself, and for example, one of them that I was listening to today was talking about how there's variations of myself that I'm not necessarily aware of yet, but I'm still learning them. And I think that's kind of what this means to me. So maybe you resonate with that. If you don't force it, because that's a whole nother thing. If you don't feel like, what I'm saying is what you're feeling, then just disregard that. And we're going to go to the next one. And sometimes with cards, I like to kind of put them together and create like a story. So, that could be the first part of a story. And maybe for you, maybe it could even mean that you already know yourself. You already have found every variation of yourself, and maybe that was the beginning of your story. Maybe, and maybe you're still getting to know yourself, and that is where your story stems from, is that you had to find who you were initially to get to the next chapter. And it could really significantly mean that you really have to find every version of yourself and every little kind of soul shard of who you are in order to get to that next chapter that you really have been trying to get to, because that's not something that you can just force. If you're not ready, then your soul tribe is not going to let you do that, and your soul guides and whatever you like to call it, not going to let you do it. Okay, it takes two, and if you're not ready to experience it, then it's not going to work out. Okay, so, and if you couldn't tell, this deck is in Spanish, so you're not tripping. La fuerza is the strength, and the next one almost. Oh, okay. So, sometimes I get a variety of cards at once, and when that happens, I just kind of, skim through those, see if any want to come out initially. And then if nothing comes out, then what I like to do is kind of open all of them. And okay, so here's what I got. And this could even be a story in itself. Okay. So, I got all of these. Okay. So I got the Queen of Pentacles, the High Priestess, I got the Judgment, I got the Three of Wands, and I have Three of Cups. And this one is basically in high correlation to rejoicing. And for you, that may be your soul tribe, it may be past friends. But I would highly suggest against being friends with anybody who hurt you in a past life or in your past in general. So here's what I'm getting from this, right? Alright, so this is a sign of, to me, it means physical wealth. And it could even mean mental wealth. It could mean spiritual wealth. It could mean whatever you want it to mean for you. But for me, I'm struggling with finances, so that's kind of what this is in correlation to for me. And I only say this because maybe that's what you're feeling too, just to throw some ideas on the table. Because with tarot, really you can take it however it resonates. So many different meanings to each card. So with this, I believe that you may be struggling financially right now. You may be struggling mentally. You may be struggling spiritually. And you may be even struggling with the value of the people around you, of the value of yourself and what you feel for yourself. So there's that one. And then this, basically to me, this means balance, straight balance. And I think it kind of means that aspect of being soulfully balanced and physically balanced within yourself. And the next one is Judgment. And I think that this really correlates to the people around you. So that card was upside down, which to me it means that you should really be looking at the people around you. So far, we have so far, and I'm still learning, like, I know that I'm being a little duddy right now, I'm being a little dutsy, but okay, so far we have basically inner strength, balance between the people around you and the people that you are going to meet, the people that you are meant to be with. And I think that's upside down right now because it's really up to you. It's up to you if you want to experience these people or not. And obviously, you're gonna say, yeah, you do. But I think it is really important to be honest with yourself and who you are and what you want. And so the last one is the Three of Wands, and that one was reversed. So this means basically travel. And I think it's upside down because you feel stuck right now, and you might feel like, with the people that you're surrounded by at this moment, you may feel stuck with, and you may feel like you deserve to be there, and you are being harshly judged, and you have no balance. You have the option to look within yourself and find that balance. So all of everything that I just described comes down to the strength that you have to find within yourself. And when you think of strength, you think physical. I have thought of physical for so long in my life. I've always thought, okay, well, I'm going through all of these things, and I'm really struggling, and I don't know what to do next. And I have this job that I hate. I have this lifestyle that I can't stand. So to me, reverse strength means that you really have to just keep looking within yourself and disregard all of your external issues. So that's really what that comes down to for me. And maybe you feel the same way. So when I pull these cards, it's not just for me, it's for, if you are attracted to this video and if you open this, you may feel the same way. But for me, that's kind of what my story is at right now. And I definitely think that when you get caught up in not only the people that you're around and the environment that you are in, It is so easy to disregard yourself as a person. Disregard your passion and your presence even, because you just think that your story is written for you. And that's not true at all. It's something that you have to actively write for yourself, because while you may see a variety of different stories that you could be writing, it's so hard to decipher which one is real. And I struggled for a really long time with finding what is real and who is real and if I'm real. And while this plane is made up, in my opinion, everybody has realness to them. Like, the feelings that we have for each other, the love we can establish for each other, you know, the love we establish for ourselves, that is real. So put everything else aside, right? You gotta love yourself before you love somebody else, is what I think is really stemming from this. Because for so long in my life, I have really wanted to find somebody to kind of, you know, be kind of maybe compensate for what I feel. And there's so much more to that in itself than just finding somebody to compensate for me. It's just being tired overall of being the only one to compensate for myself that I know of, being the only one that compensates for other people around me who fall short of themselves. And sometimes it just gets tiring, and I want to be held, and I want to be, you know, made to feel like what I feel about myself is true. Like, I'm so many things, and useless is not one of those things. So, just kind of basically assuring yourself that you already know, like, I'm great, I'm beautiful, I'm bright, I'm smart, I'm, you know, capable. So, if you're looking for somebody to kind of assure you of that, then you're not going to find it, or you're going to find somebody that does the complete opposite of that. So, that's kind of what I'm getting here, is the energy that I'm feeling. Yeah. So with that, I feel like you may be feeling really weighed down, you may be feeling really tired and distraught and confused and hurt and heartbroken, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of weighing itself out. You're really starting to see maybe the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're really starting to understand who you are and see yourself and see your surroundings through a heightened perspective. Okay, so with this, I feel that it may be time to kind of take some steps back. As I was just saying, kind of maybe look from a different perspective. Maybe you haven't already done this. So, and when you get a reverse card, it doesn't mean you're doing anything bad. It doesn't mean that you suck. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It just means that you have to maybe look within. It's more about looking within than about looking at, you know, your life and the fact that it might not be exactly what you want it to be, and you aren't what you want to be. And so this to me just means kind of essentially to surrender. And surrendering doesn't mean just don't do anything at all. It just means don't keep fighting for something that you don't really want. Don't keep fighting for the things in life that you don't really see any value in. You don't see any face value. You don't see any, genuine purpose within what you fight for. And it's so easy to fight for things that we think we need, and fight for jobs that we think are going to sustain us financially and internally. Okay, so I got Tres de Oros, and to me, 3 of Pentacles. means, well, it's reversed. So that kind of means to me that you might be feeling really cut off from society. You might be feeling kind of useless. You might be feeling like you don't know anything about anything. And okay, well, that's true. Nobody genuinely knows anything. You are still very educated. You are still very intellectual. If you're watching this video, then you definitely have some variation of spiritual intelligence, and most likely book smart, most likely really confident. Like, deep down, like, you know you know what you're doing, you know. So with this, it just means kind of maybe you just don't feel confident when you're around certain people. And for me, that's a reoccurring issue as well. You might feel like this isolation is really submerging you, and you might feel like when you are around somebody, you feel like you might as well just not have been around them in the first place. And this is not due to being an introvert. It's not due to just wanting to hide for the rest of your life. It's not due to you just can't be around other people because this and this and this and that. It's just due to the fact that you are around the wrong people. So we're gonna pull one more. And I think so far, this really just comes down to what your truth is, because that's really what it all comes down to, is how you feel about yourself and the way that you view yourself, even if it's superficial, even if it's based on material things, even if it's based on your job, on your career. Then whatever is the surface level of how you view yourself is the way that other people are going to perceive you as well, regardless of if you feel confident deep down, regardless of if you have everything you want. If you feel like you have nothing that you need and you are not confident at face value, then nobody is going to see that, and nobody is going to validate that, because you really have to just validate it yourself. And you can validate this yourself every single day, but maybe there's that part of you that doesn't want anybody to see it. And sometimes that's even better. Sometimes that's actually a gift. So I definitely hid myself under a veil for so many years in my life, including high school, including just being around certain people, because I knew that, like, the things that I said just wouldn't make any sense to them. So I accepted that at a pretty early age. But I did have phases of forgetting that I was pretending. So it's very easy to do that as well. And I think that's kind of what is coming to the surface with this reading, is because if you feel like you are meant to be a certain way, and you're meant to be isolated, and you're meant to consistently look down on yourself, then you're going to attract people that are going to validate that perspective. You're not going to attract people that are going to validate how you genuinely feel about yourself on the inside. You're going to attract those people that kind of reciprocate your worst fears and reciprocate your darkness, reciprocate all of that pain. So just remember that life is genuinely what you make it. And that is including the people around you. That is including your experience, your jobs, your everything. Absolutely everything is what it comes down to. So, yeah. This is the last card that I pulled. And B and J do mean something. I've looked it up before, but I don't remember. And I do know that it means overall balance. I do know that it means having that space within yourself to come back to, maybe at the end of a really long day, and just seeing yourself instantly. And being able to sit with that, being able to feel that, being able to know that when it comes down to it and when you really are in doubt, there's always going to be kind of this other side of life that nobody likes to talk about. Everybody wants to keep on hush. So if you have that idea and you already know that and you know where you came from, genuinely you know where you came from, and I'm not just talking about like from the mud, I'm talking about before the mud, I'm talking about before you came into this life. So you already know, and you know that you may be a high rank, you know that you may be capable of possibly more than other people are willing to admit that they're capable of. And sometimes some people just are not meant to experience that. Sometimes people just are not meant to unlock their full potential. So just understand that if you have been exposed to chaos for a majority of your life, and you have handled it to the point of coming back to yourself for the most part at the end of the day, then there's a really good chance that you have been tested up to this point to see if you can handle that overall chaos. And if you can take that chaos with a grain of salt and still find yourself, then you're doing just great. And you shouldn't need anybody to tell you who you are. As a matter of fact, since we technically already pulled that card, I am going to find a card relating to society, relating to your surroundings, relating to the people that you have experienced, and relating to the people that you currently do as well. So and this I'm not jipping it. I like to flip through the cards like this, kind of like put a little bit of magic in there. And I like to kind of just flip them around because I am still learning how to flip the deck, and sometimes I don't even know what that's called. I flip them together, I guess. I just kind of, yeah, I get in there a little bit. So okay, so this is the first card that I saw, and this is exciting, actually. So, okay, so with this card, this means absolute bliss when it comes to your relationships. And this may not be currently. This may be suggestive of the future. It may be suggestive of the past. It may be something that you are currently experiencing when it comes to cutting ties, basically. So, to me, this means that you are establishing a, and you may have heard this before if you watch these videos a lot, you are establishing a cord cut with so many people that do not serve you. And when I say serve, I don't mean royalty relations. I just mean as a friend, as a parent, as somebody to look up to. Like, you just don't have this in your life. So you're really establishing this death with these relationships in order to move on. Excuse me, and to find this within other people. So I think that's and this is what this is what I got when I gotta stop looking. When I lifted the death card up. And I think that is so beautiful. You know, I am clearly I'm a rookie with tarot, if you will. But when it comes down to energy, that's just what it is, baby. So you are experiencing a death of so many relationships in order to find your highest self. So with this, I do believe that Sometimes I really gotta sit with it. That you not only are finding this death with relations in your life, you're finding this death with who you thought you were. You're finding this death with this relationship of yourself that you thought you had to be for the rest of your life. And I think that's where this really comes in. Because this is the Empress. And I think if you're really willing to let go of this variation that you see yourself as and that you allow other people to see you as well, then you're really going to shine. You're going to sparkle. You're going to be absolutely everything that you already knew that you were this whole time. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, I get so hyped because I feel this all too well. And also just fell on the floor, so that means this times 10. Times 10. So just remember, if you're having a bad day at any point, just know you cut that off. You cut all of, and maybe you're still learning to do it, and that's okay too, but you are currently learning, or you are currently cutting off these people in your life that are not serving you when it comes to unconditional love, is basically what that means to me. And this means to me that you are finding unconditional love within yourself. And these two cards together, I really think that you are trying to learn how to kind of radiate that unconditional love into the universe. And I think that's so beautiful. And I think you're doing a really good job and you don't even know it. So, because, and I can tell you because this was the card that I got after that. This was the card that I got after that. So, basically, I mean, this really is in high correlation to it because you are directly taking your power back. Right? You are directly taking your directly taking your power back because you are not confirming. You are choosing non-confirmation in order to find yourself, in order to, okay, let me word this differently, right? So, I want to make sure that I really articulate this properly because I don't want it misconstrued. So, maybe I should, trying to figure out which way I want to read it. Okay. Alright. So basically, what you are doing here is absolutely generational curse breaking, okay? Is the energy right here. So, right here, you have found death within yourself. You are dying, cutting away all of the cords that you have become within yourself. You are becoming this beautiful version of yourself, which, you know, that beautiful version of yourself is taking its power back and choosing to be its most authentic self. And I just saw a blue jay outside. Maybe that is important to you, maybe significant to you, maybe I'm getting a loved one. I'm getting that a loved one, their favorite bird was blue jays. Maybe that resonates for you. And they want you to know that they love you as well. And that you are doing a very good job, okay? So, just know. Just know. Because I will say that a couple of years ago, when I first started getting into these videos myself, it really helped me out, and it really kind of made me think a little bit more about where I wanted to progress in relating to spirituality, relating to hobbies, relating to self, relating to possibility. Because sometimes people will think of it like this. Okay, here's a good analogy. So sometimes you're like swimming in the sea, right? You've like always been swimming in the sea. This is all you know. And then one day you just kind of feel this self-awareness and you think, "Okay, well, I want to walk on the beach now." I'm ready to go and like walk around and see what else is out there. So you wake up one day and you're walking on the sand, you're chilling, you're walking around experiencing everything, and this is everything you ever wanted, but you still feel like there's that little piece inside you that just needs more. But then you tell yourself, okay, well, I got everything I wanted, so I'm okay. But then the truth is that you were meant to actually fly the whole time. The truth is that you are meant to fly above the ocean and the beach altogether, the land and the ocean, everything. You're meant to just be in the sky. You're meant to be this beautiful, multi-passion, multi-skilled, multi-capability individual. And when I say individual, I mean just like the self-awareness that you have of self, and all of the talents and the beauty that you are, basically. So just know there's so much more. There's so much more than you may even be aware of. And maybe you're not even dreaming big enough. Maybe there's so much more that you can still be, and you're just telling yourself that you're not capable of doing it because maybe the people around you are not doing it. Maybe the people that used to be your friends made you feel bad for wanting that. Maybe everybody makes you feel bad for wanting that. But it really comes down to what you want, because nobody is going to decide for you what you want. So just keep being yourself and don't conform, okay? Don't conform when it comes to, you know, traditional life. Maybe conform when it comes to doing what's best for you, because that's a whole different ballpark. So anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know that you're doing a great job and your cards look really good, and you're logical, you're beautiful, you're intellectual, and I mean, what really more? What more can you want from that? Like, you really have everything right now. And if you think that you don't have everything that you need to be yourself, then you're looking to external things. All that you need is who you are internally. So just remember that. And y'all have a good one. I will see you in my next video.